Thank you all for being here. For those of you from the Border Patrol and ICE, question for you. Are you aware of any internal assessment regarding why these children are coming north in the way they are? Is there any internal assessment that you have seen within your organizations?
There are several reports from varying locations about, the intelligence and surveys of...
Our committee would like to have a copy of those. Mr. Homan, are you aware of any?
Yes, I'm aware of external and internal intelligence reports.
And what did they say?
Pardon me?
What did they say?
They talk about various factors to include...
But I guess in the essence of time, could you please provide those to this committee?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Judd, when these unaccompanied minors are coming across, how are they communicating who they are and where they want to go?
When they come to the processing center, obviously if they're 5 years old or too young, it's a little bit difficult. We have to turn them over to HSI. But when they're older than 14 years old, they tell us, they give us numbers. We allow them to call the parents or the relatives or whomever, and they tell us exactly where they want to go.
Some of them have, I've heard, papers in their pockets with an address or a location?
Sometimes.
What sort of vetting is done to figure out whether the authenticity of the relationships?
We can't. There's no vetting that we can do.
So what happens to them? Do we put them on a plane? Put them on a bus? What do we do?
Yes, sir. We process them with the information that they give us. We take the information at face value. Then we turn them over to ERO. ERO then turns them over to HSI and so on and so forth.
But these are ICE escorts, correct? They're hired under the ICE. Is that right, Mr. Crane?
Yes, sir. They're turned over from CBP to ICE, and then ICE officers fly them to placement that's directed by ORR.
And when these escorts get to the destination, what sort of vetting of the person do they actually do?
On our end, we don't. We turn them over to ORR. Prior to that, typically, we just try to verify addresses.
When you say verify address, that address is a real address?
That it's a real address and that there's someone there that is going to verify that they're going to receive the child.
But in terms of vetting who they're giving, I mean, you could be giving them to a drug cartel, you could be giving them to a gang, it could be a sex trafficker. You just say, are you? Is that all you say?
There's no verification of really who that person is.
So my daughter flew from Salt Lake City to Phoenix. She happens to be 13 years old. She knows what she's doing. She speaks great English. We had to provide to Delta the telephone number, our Social Security. They had to provide a driver's license when they approached them. You're telling me that we're taking 13-year-old kids, 12-year-old kids, 5-year-old kids. We're taking them, and we are with zero vetting, no questions asked, and we're handing them over to somebody in the United States? That's what's happening?
Yield?
No. I'm asking these people, not the...
But because they don't know. They're not in charge of it.
I'm asking the people that are here in this panel, and I ask unanimous consent to put another 30 seconds back on the clock, please. Thank you.
Will be recognized for 30 seconds additional.
The people here on this panel are the four of you that are involved in ICE and the Border Patrol. Do we do any vetting whatsoever of who we turn these minors over to?
I'll defer to the Border Patrol on what type of vetting they do during the initial intake and processing. When ICE takes these children and hands them over to HHS, HHS does all the vetting of where these children are going to. They do background investigations on the sponsors, and they do the vetting. That's HHS responsibility. Before that child's placed with a family or a sponsor, the HHS would do a background investigation.
So what sort of vetting do you do in the pre-part, in the beginning?
So during the arrest and the book-in cycle, law enforcement professionals, Border Patrol agents, interview the individual themselves, or if it's part of a family unit, then they'll interview the parents to elicit the information about their destination in the United States, the manner in which they entered, where they're from, what country they're coming from.
Mr. Vitale, what percentage of the border do you have under operational control at this point?
I don't have that information.
Is it less than 10% as it was last time it was assessed?
I don't have that information in front of me.
Would it be inaccurate to say that it's changed since then?
The border changes every day.
How do you testify yesterday that you have an adequate supply of personnel? Those are the words that you used.
Well,
and then, Mr. Judd, I'd appreciate your perspective on this as well.
I appreciate you bringing that up. I could have been a bit more precise in my remarks.
You were fairly precise. You said, quote, you were adequately staffed. You went on to say that you were adequately or better staffed at the same time than you were last year.
So that doesn't – I didn't want people to imply the fact that we're not concerned about this problem. When we visited with the Secretary, we were told by the folks on the ground there that the issue of large numbers of family units and these children are entering in a specific area. My remarks yesterday were designed to inform everyone that the deployments outside of those two zones are as well staffed as they were last year or better staffed.
Time of the gentleman has expired, but the gentleman, Mr. Judd, will be allowed to answer the questions.
We're adequately staffed to process them, but we have to strip the line to do it. So we create holes on the line. So yes, we're able to process these people. There's no doubt about that. But the actual border takes a hit because we have to take people out of the field to do that processing.